want to take a moment and recognize a few of our esteemed guests this evening. First, I want to acknowledge each one of our spouses and partners of our first responders. Your unwavering support and care for our families in our absence and comforting presence after challenging shifts or calls are invaluable to each one of us. You are the reason we can fulfill our duties as first responders. As first responders, our greatest motivation is to go home safe, to be with our loved ones who complete us. So please, let's again express our gratitude and our love and appreciation for our partners and our spouses. To our retired members, if you would please stand this evening. So, as you look around, there's well over 150 years of dedicated service to Spanish Fork City from these individuals standing before you. Each one of these are the reasons why we're able to wear the badge that we wear today. So thank you for allowing us to be able to do the best job in the world, for building the foundation here in Spanish Fork of pride and progress that has allowed us to be who we are today and take us to where we're going in the future. Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome our City Council tonight, Mayor Mike Mendenhall, Councilmember Kevin Euler and his wife Angela, Councilmember Jesse Cardin and his wife Callie. I always get that wrong. I did last year too. Sorry. Councilwoman Stacy Beck and her husband Chris, Seth Perrins, our city manager, and his wife Jill, and our assistant city manager Tyler Jacobson and his wife Whitney. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. We see it all the time from what you've done in the last 2 years to allow us to be able to move our department forward and to provide the services that our community truly needs. So without that, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And so thank you so much for your unwavering support. As we gather tonight for dinner, I hope we can deepen our connection and strengthen the camaraderie within our department. If you haven't met someone or don't know someone, please take time to get to know one another a little bit better tonight. Get to know each other's spouses, as they might be an important piece. As we're out facing tragedy, they might be someone that you might need to lean on. If you haven't met one of our retired members, please reach out to them and get to know them. They're the reasons why we're here tonight, is because of that foundation that they built. So please engage with one another as tonight's events go on, and also to after the event's over. Before we begin to dinner, I'd like to draw attention here to the front to our table set for one. This table symbolizes our Spanish Fork Fire and EMS members who passed away. We honor and remember them for their dedicated service. This table represents all fire and EMS service members who have gone before us, whether it was due to a line of duty, death, age, cancer, or other circumstances. We also just got news this morning that one of our beloved members' wives passed away, Joanne Jones. And Lynn and Joanne were very integral pieces of this community and also this fire department. And you didn't see one without the other. And so Joanne passed away last night, and we want to send our condolences and our thoughts to the Jones family. We'll now have a little poem read by our Fire Marshal Jason Turner about the table set for one, and then we'll take a moment of silence to honor those members.
Table for one. To my left is a table set for one. This table is set for the many members of our profession who are missing from our midst this evening. To the community, they are firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs. To us, they are brothers and sisters, which are unable to be with us this evening. Please allow me to share with you the symbolism of this table that has been set for these, the fallen first responders. The white tablecloth symbolizes purity of the intentions to respond, of their intentions to respond to their department's every call. The floral arrangement also tells a story. The red rose is for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their life so that others could live. The white rose is for those who witnessed and experienced tragedy and destruction firsthand and are still with us today. The slice of lemon is on the plate to remind us of their bitter fate. The salt is on the plate, symbolic of the tears shed by friends and family. The candle is a beacon of light, a symbol of their memories that will keep burning in our hearts. Burn in our hearts until the Lord unites us once again. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us. The chair is empty. They are not here. But let's not forget them. There will be a short ceremony to remember those friends who are no longer with us.
I'd like to invite up our mayor, Mike Mendenhall. He has a few words that he would like to say. Following Mayor Mendenhall, I've asked our city manager, Seth Perrins, to come up and say a few things, and then I'll say a few things, and then we'll go into our awards. So, Mayor Mendenhall, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chief Hales. I've got two quick stories, and my stories are always quick. Seth knows that. Right, Seth? Yep, they're quick. These two quick stories, one embarrasses Councilman Euler, but the other one embarrasses me. So I think it's fair game. We stood in this room. I can't remember. It might have been the last time that Dave Euler was our city manager. And I know a whole lot of people in this room remember that. And his exit, he was up here giving free days off like they were chiclets. It was kind of funny to watch Seth's head explode and Tyler's. It was great. But then I think it was your mom, Kevin, that they asked about some of the good memories and the fun memories down here. And one of them was Susan Euler saying when the rodeo happened, we'd put all the Euler kids in the back of the ambulance and drive it through the gate to the rodeo, and then we were in the rodeo. So I think the days of putting our kids in the ambulance and getting in are probably over, but it was a cute story that every time I see a Spanish Fork ambulance, I think of Susan Euler. Were you ever in there, Kevin?
We still do that.
Oh, I still do that, okay. Kevin didn't want that story out while he was running for his council seat, but now it's out there and it's on television. So, no, it's fun stuff. The other story I have is 20 years ago when I was a young guy and thought about asking a dad if I could marry his daughter. I went over to Provo and met this gentleman for lunch. He happened to be the police chief at the time, and he dressed up in kind of the blues that you guys have on today. Who cut the mic? That was you, Chief. I'm done. You only gave me a certain amount of time. Anyway, he was dressed up, wearing his gun on his side, and he was ready for some young guy to ask him if he could marry his daughter. And me being nervous, as you would be, nervous at that time, I tried to make small talk and say, Craig, hey, I really love what you do as a profession. I think it's noble. I think being on the police force is great. Maybe that's what I'll go into, because I was just in college and trying to find my way. And I'll never forget Amber's dad, what he said to me, is he said, don't be an idiot. You could be a firefighter, make more money, have more days off, and have a better life. So I've always thought about that. If you go into the emergency service profession, he made an impression that, hey, be a firefighter, don't be a cop that's got to pull over moms in minivans. Be the guy that's going to rescue people. So, listen, I can't thank you enough from the mayor and from the city council, for Chief Hales, for Deputy Chief Hoarding, and for everybody that plays such a pivotal role in your department. You are the front line of what makes this city great. If you listened a little bit to the State of the City address that we gave last night, you can find it on YouTube now, thanks to SFCN. But you'll hear the prioritization of your department, of what it means to Spanish Fork City, and not just from the 1908 organization of the Volunteer Fire Department, that storied institution that, like Chief Hale said, has built us up to now, and how important that has played a role in the success of Spanish Fork City. All the other things we can do is because the families that selflessly sacrifice their time and talents and dinners and lunches and school programs and everything else that you did for so many years, so we could do so many things in Spanish Fork. And what we're doing today is simply building on that heritage and building on that progress. So from me to you, from the council to you, I want you to know you're a priority. We do know that your job is not even close to easy. And the spouse that's at home or at another job supporting you, that's not easy either. And the stories, the things you bring home, we hear about that, and our hearts sometimes break with you. But thank you for working through it. Thank you for answering the call wherever it is and whatever time of the day or night it is. You are doing a monumental service to your community and beyond, and any time that we can recognize you for that, we will certainly do that. So again, I've been told by some successful people that to be successful, there's 3 components to it. You've got to have a good strategy, you've got to execute on that strategy, and it can all fall apart if you don't have the right people. Well, I can promise you the strategy is in place to be successful in this department. It's spelled out, it's detailed, and it's pretty clear of where we're going to go. You're going to see the execution on that strategy over the coming months and years, and I promise we have the right people in place. All of you have been here, come to this place for a reason. Think about what brought you here. Those things aren't always by accident. So thank you for being here. We have the right strategy. We're going to execute on it, and you are the right people. Thank you for all you do from the mayor and council of the home of Pride and Progress. Thank you.
Chief Hoarding said there was another mic below, and couldn't help but notice there was also a pyro device. So some of you may not know this about me, but I have always been a fan of the fire department. From my youngest days, I would visit the fire department because I was required to do so after some youthful experiences with fire. And I got to know my fire marshal in my hometown of Moses Lake, Washington, by name. In fact, I can still remember his name. It's very memorable. Elvis Swisher. I don't know how he got that name. It's probably one of the coolest names I know. But I visited Fire Marshal Swisher 4 times by the time I was 12. So Jason, where did Jason go? Jason, you and I, we haven't even met that many times, right? Almost. Never for what I did. That was when I was, up until I was 12. I learned when I was 12 that I shouldn't do the things that would make it so I had to meet with the fire marshal. But I have, since then, I've graduated to the other side of the firehouse and have had the opportunity to call the ambulance a number of times. Gratefully, never for me, but for a number of other individuals. And this last year, in different places and in different times. So I've had a number of experiences with the fire and EMS service throughout my life. I'm really grateful for what you do. Every time we have a city council meeting, you should know that those that say prayers, offer prayers in our meetings, always pray for you. And I'm grateful for that, as they recognize and we recognize that what you do on a regular basis is dangerous and wonderful, but yet dangerous. And so I'm grateful that you are the recipients of prayers. So thinking about what could I say today that might be of any value to you, I want to invite you to, I'm going to hit on what the mayor said a little bit more. I'm going to invite you to go watch his talk, his State of the City address. There are some significant things that we as a city have to do. There are some significant lifts that we have to do. And being the city manager, I am a numbers guy. So recalling some of the numbers from this year, let's see, 3,700-ish calls for service in 2023. 3,700. Quick math, right? That's more than 10 a day, right? Just slightly over 10 a day. Knowing how many of those were hospital transports 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't have that here in our community, but now just over 1,000 calls from the hospital to transport a patient. Quick math, what is that? How many a day? I'm gonna go with like just under 3, right? Just under 3. I didn't know it, but I got some fast math people here. We're tracking. Just under 3 a day, significant resource. I remember when I first came here, and a number of you will remember our first days here. They'll remember with fondness when I would show up at Station 61 on a Wednesday or a Thursday night. And what was I there for, guys? Right over here, Mark. I know you remember those days fondly. I was there to do drug tests, right? You knew if I showed up in the station, I was there to do random drug tests, and we were there for hours waiting for some people. But we have this tremendous resource now, and that the community has growing into. Still being the numbers guy as a city manager to fulfill the needs that we have. I don't know if you guys know this, but you drive the most expensive cars in the world, right? The cars that we drive, the ambulances and the fire trucks, are $400,000. $800,000, and I'm holding on to $1.5 million for the ladder truck, but I'm told it's $2 million now. Right? They're just really, really expensive. And other lifts that we have to make as we take next steps to make adjustments in the service levels that we need to fulfill the requirements of time and the call volume that we have. Every step that we take is $1 million. $1.5 million. It is what it is, right? The nature of the service that you provide, the nature of the environment that we live in. I invite you to watch the mayor and the comments that he made in the State of the City, because as he outlines some of the priorities, he identifies providing for the needs of our community through the services that you provide. And that's something that as a city manager and working for the city council, they've given us that priority, and we are going to work hard to give that lift. But I think about you who are actually out there doing the lift. And I've said it before, and in many times in this kind of a setting, I can always really just say thank you. Because as you do the lift every day, as you respond to the different calls, some of which are horrific and others are fun. Speaking of fun, right, taking the wrestling team down Main Street, that's fun. But yes, that was for you, Kay. That's a proud grandma right there. Some of them are fun, but some of them are horrific. But you always respond. And so we look to you to really execute on those lifts that we have. We'll give you the resources, we'll give you the tools. And in a year from now, we'll marvel again at another year, another great year of things that we've done. But I will look out at a room full of you with gratitude in my heart. Just simply, all again I will be able to say is thank you, because as we've had all that we've needed to do, we'll turn to you and say, here are some resources, here are some tools, but we need you to execute, and you do it. You do it wonderfully, you do it beautifully, you do it masterfully, and you do it caringly. And we thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Mayor and Seth. It's always good to hear from our city manager and our mayor to kind of get their thoughts about us and how we're doing in the city. So thank you for that. I just want to express my gratitude to each one of you. I've been here now just shy of 28 months, and we have come a long ways in that 28 months. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had a lot of heartache. We've had a lot of disagreements, and we continue to come to understand one another and to see the changes that need to take place and what we need to do so that we can continue to provide the services that this community needs and the citizens deserve. Each one of you have played a very critical role in every one of the changes that we've made in the last 28 months. We wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be full-time. We wouldn't have a paramedic program. We wouldn't have battalion chiefs running everyday operations. We wouldn't have a fire marshal. We wouldn't have deputy chief there full-time. We wouldn't have the part-time staff and the ability to provide the services that we do with the extra tools that we've added in our toolboxes to the citizens. We've done so much in 2 years, and I look at the last reports that I put out the year prior to this and then this year, and I don't think there's another department, and I might be biased, so if you know other departments that want to compare side by side, I think we probably own them on the fact that we've done a hell of a lot more than most agencies do in the state in the last 2 years. So without you guys, we couldn't have made that happen. So thank you so much. I'm going to tell you, it's important for us to, like Seth said, to go and see the mayor's state of the city. I think the mayor has a vision. I know the city council, they all have a vision for what Spanish Fork needs to look like down the road. And they've listened, they've opened up to have conversation, and those conversations come with a drastic amount of money that is involved. And I know that they're putting forth the effort to make sure that it doesn't impact the individual citizens in a way that it could, and what's best financially for the city to make it so we can provide those higher levels of service. Change is never easy. It's never easy. But without change, we can't make progress, and we become extinct like the dinosaurs did, right? We don't have dinosaurs anymore because they didn't adapt to change, and they became extinct. As a fire department, if we don't adapt to change and we don't stay up with the times, we'll be extinct, and we'll be irrelevant to our community. And we got to continue to stay up with those times. We've got to continue to stay up with the trends of the fire service, with the types of construction we have, the types of things that are burning, how rapidly fire is growing. It's significant, and we've got to continue to keep our positive attitudes and stay up with what the city wants us to do. I just want to share a couple of our accomplishments. I won't take a lot of time so that you guys can get on with the evening, but as Seth said, we responded to 3,721 calls for service in 2023, which was a 12.89% increase from 2022. We hired 3 full-time battalion chiefs, Chief Edwards, Chief Grandgroth, and Chief Ashby, who've been a huge asset in the day-to-day operations of running 2 fire stations. We implemented a new department mission statement with the help of our city. They implemented and went through a lot of significant trials and implementation of coming up with what was best suited mission for our city. We were able to take that and adapt it to our own department. It's now posted in our fire stations. And we strive to build and maintain a vibrant city through personable community interactions and innovative fire and EMS services. And I think each one of you guys live that every day. And I see it every day. We purchased and placed into service some various essential equipment, such as the powered Striker stair chair that's helping us get as the population gets heavier and we have more fast food. It allows us to have to use some more powered resources, and it's played vital in saving a few backs in helping get people out of upstairs or downstairs in the basements. We purchased a new PPE extractor. As you all know, the one that we had at Station 61 was donated to us from Wiggy Wash, and it was becoming very old. It was used by Wiggy Wash to wash towels. It wasn't really designed to wash turnouts. We used it, and it finally ran out of life. And so we got a new one so that we can continue to stay up with the washing of our PPE and prevent cancer within the department. We purchased a PPE dryer to help us dry that gear quicker instead of just hang drying it, so that we can get it back into service quicker for you. We implemented an integrated tick system into our SCBAs. So now, instead of having to rely on one thermal imager in a unit, we have the ability now that every firefighter that wears an SCBA has a thermal imaging camera with them to be able to see when they go in and fight fire. We bought some Bendix King VHF radios to replace the old outdated ones that are no longer serviceable, to put in our wildland cadre for our wildland deployments and assisting on the county and state lands. We added several new paramedic medications to our toolbox: norepi, magnesium, calcium, and TXA. I've personally been able to push TXA 2 times now up Highway 6. And if you all don't know what TXA is, some of the folks in the room, it prevents and helps stop and create a clotting mechanism to help with hemorrhagic hemorrhagic bleeding, and to slow that down. And we've used that, and it's been a vital part of our toolbox, especially with the tragedies we see up Highway 6 with some of our patient care. We completed numerous certifications and implemented new policies and procedures, and we conducted over 40 public safety events and tours. And that's a lot of time away from your families. 40 just tours, along with the 3,700 calls that we call upon each one of you to come down to the fire station and dedicate that time away. That's a lot of time away. So to the families, we thank you for allowing your dad or mom to step away from the family for a little bit to help others in their time of need. Again, without your dedication, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I thank you all again for that. I truly feel blessed to be a part of this exceptional team. And I look forward to many more successful years with each one of you. Just want to say thank you to, again, the support of our council and our retired members for setting the foundation for the fire department and EMS departments here in Spanish Fork. You guys did a tremendous job, and we're here because of you. So thank you. As the fire chief, I'm committed to make sure that your loved ones get home every day safe. We see a lot of bad things. We're on a highway or an interstate pretty much every single day here in the city, and those are dangerous areas. I think besides line of duty deaths with cardiac-related events, roadside incidents are the other high-ranking line of duty death, and we're on the interstate a lot, and so we try to protect their scenes the best we can. We got a lot of traffic coming and going through the city, but it's my commitment to you to make sure your loved ones get home to you after every call, after every shift, and I'll continue to do that. We'll now move into our award ceremony. We have a special retirement, and I've asked Captain Reed to come up and present that retirement award. I also just want to recognize, if Wes, if you could stand up. Wes Otteson he just hit 40 years of service, active duty service to the citizens of Spanish Fork in February 1st, February 1. He hit 40 years. That's amazing. And I'll tell you what, Wes is gritty. He's got grit, and I loved watching him go through our physical fitness test last year, and man, it was awesome. Just that he just gritty, got it done, no problem, and I'm sure he's going to do it again this year without problem, aren't you, Wes? All right.
So this evening, I get to recognize and have the honor and privilege to recognize our newest retired member. Shannon Thomas, do you want to join me? Congratulations on your amazing professional journey in EMS. Shannon started with Spanish Fork Ambulance in August of 2002. She started as a volunteer in our department. At the time, we were making $1 an hour for our main shift and 50 cents for our backup calls. She served for 10 years on 5s and 0s and 4s and 9s, which is a little odd to some people because we used to do it by the day of the week, but ending on the day of the week. So one thing that's pretty awesome tonight is most of Shannon's crews that she spent most of her career with are here tonight, which is quite an honor. So she spent time with Jeff and Wes, serving on 5s and 0s, and then moved to 4s and 9s with Clinton and Kay, who are both here tonight. She then moved to 3s and 8s to finish up most of the time there until we went part-time. She has been a huge advocate for our department. We started a new program just over a couple years ago, Image Trend, and she was a huge asset getting that off the ground for us. She did a lot of legwork and made sure she did the research to make sure that we had the best program when we launched that for our department. She served as a supply officer for many years. She served on the Crisis Incident Stress Debriefing team for over 5 years and made a huge impact on those who not only were struggling in their own career, but those in our own department. She is a huge advocate for patients over this last 21 years. I've seen Shannon in times that were super hard fight for patients when others wouldn't fight for them. She was never afraid to stick her own neck on the line to fight for somebody that she really cared for. She has been an instructor and a training officer with us. She's gone out of her comfort zone a little bit on her training officer instructor. I know it wasn't very easy for her at first, but she did an amazing job and has taught some amazing classes for our department. A fun little story I got from one of her crew members is they responded to a trauma call up the canyon, and at night in our canyon the wind blows quite fiercely, and they needed to land a helicopter. They had a patient that had come out of the tunnel. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the tunnel mouth of the canyon, but that patient fell, I don't remember how many feet, it's pretty far anyway, but fell to the ground, so they had one member of their team go down to be with the patient, and Shannon and Kay stayed above. And they landed this helicopter, and as the helicopter landed, the wind was so forced from the canyon and them, they fell into the little canal that was by just where the offside of where the helicopter landed. And her team member said they hurried and jumped up and brushed the dust off and was like, please don't anybody see me. So just a fun little story, but she's definitely gone out of her way and made an impact on our department and everything she's done, and we'd like to just recognize her tonight for the 21 years that she's gave to our department and her devotion to the patients she has served in Spanish Fork City, and want to congratulate her.
All right, we're going to move towards our service awards, our Seers of Service pin. So if the council would come up, and we'll form a nice line for everyone to shake hands, and we'll hand out Years of Service award. And the city manager and the assistant city manager. So come on. All right, we're going to start with our 5-year pin. So these are everyone who hit 5 years in 2023. We're going to start with Stephen Carlson. So Stephen, if you'd like to come on up. Next is going to be Zachary Taylor, if Zach will come up. Our last 5-year pin recipient is going to be Genevieve Denlinger. I haven't seen her. Is she here today? We'll make sure she gets it. All right, we're going to move to our 10-year pin. So our first 10-year recipient is going to be Kelly Long. He's on the gas leak. He's working hard. Our second is going to be Kendrick Hare. Kendrick's here. Our last 10-year pin is going to be Trevor Mortensen. Moving on to year 15, so 15 years of service is going to be Nina Mortensen. Okay, we're going to move on to 25 years, and this one we're going to have to pull out of our lineup over here, Christina Reed. And then our last years of service is going to be for 35 years, and that's going to be Gary Smith. Say base and Gary. All right. Okay, I'm going to trade places with Chief Hales, and we're going to move on to our yearly awards.
All right, these next awards are pretty awesome because they're selected from our peers. So we sent out a survey at the end of the year, and each one of you, as the peers of your coworkers, get to select who fits the best for these awards. The first award that we would like to give out tonight is our Officer of the Year award. This award is given out annually to an officer at the rank of captain or above for dedicated service and professionalism embodying the duties of a public servant for the department. The criteria for the members that they're given to select these people on are demonstrated capability to work and lead under various assignments and at emergency scenes, work well with others to focus on the overall goal and objective of the department, willingness to devote extra hours to assure the department reaches goals, a role model to other company officers. The recipient of this year's award for Officer of the Year is Battalion Chief Blake Edwards.
Turner started it. I'm going to finish it. You could have warned me. I could have come up with something. I'm very appreciative of everyone and helped me with this transition. I appreciate everyone's support and I feel it. When I left my previous employer, I don't want this to sound bad, but I was taking a practice battalion chief test. And as I went through the testing process, it became more and more real. And I told my wife, I said, I feel like I'm doing okay through this process. And when I made it to the first cut, I really started talking to my wife, and I said, I don't know why, it just feels right. And I went and talked to my previous chief, and I said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but this feels right. And he said, well, then let's do it. He said, let's get you there. And I don't know why I left, because I liked my last place a lot, but I really like this place a lot. So thank you for each of you. You've made my transition here very beneficial, and I don't know what else to say other than I came down here because it felt right, and it hasn't felt wrong since. So I appreciate each of you in the room and all you've done for me. So thank you.
All right, so these next two awards have the same criteria that our staff chooses from on who best fits this. The criteria for the Firefighter of the Year and the EMS Provider of the Year as they need to demonstrate the capability to work and follow leadership. They have an initiative to make the department, station, and platoon assigned a better place. Superior performance at incident scenes and with non-emergency activities, and are role models to other firefighters and EMS providers. This year, I think it was really easy to find who the Firefighter of the Year was just by their dedication, their loyalty, their willingness to make this place a better place every single day. And you all chose Firefighter David Draper as the Firefighter of the Year.
Wow. Every day I go to the fire station, it's a dream come true for me. So this is something I've wanted my whole life, to be a fireman. So it was a crooked and long path to get here, but it's everything. And I can't tell every single one of you how grateful I am for all the opportunities I get to go ride in a fire truck with you guys, or work a scene, or just hang out. Those opportunities are sacred and special to me, and I appreciate every single one of you for helping me and giving me those opportunities. So I love you all. Thank you.
Well, he's finishing off. The next award, again, well deserving of it. I think you guys all, you wouldn't choose the wrong person for any of these awards because each one of them are so well deserving. The EMS Provider of the Year chosen by you is paramedic Jerry Brown.
Chief wants me to sing I'm a Little Teapot. I probably wouldn't get through it. I just wanted to share my thoughts about this town and this department. My wife and I came back to Utah in 2018, and shortly thereafter I worked for Saratoga Springs. But I knew we planned to move into this town when we came back into the state. And I knew before we got here, before I really even had a real estate agent, where I would live. And I knew it based off of about a 4 or 5 square mile area here in town. It just kind of like what Chief Edwards said, it felt right to move in that area. And I planned pretty early on to join this department. And while it didn't happen right away, when the spot for a firefighter paramedic became open, I applied immediately, and I knew this is where I wanted to be. I wanted it to be able to make a difference where I live, and I wanted to be able to join a department that has both a lot of history and has both history and a bright future ahead of it. And I think that's true for all of us. So we have this amazing history that we come from, and we have an amazing future ahead of us. And I just want to thank each of you for your willingness to this town and to this department. And hopefully I can live up to what you guys think of me as we move forward. So thank you.
This next and final award is chosen by the chief and deputy chief. It's a thing I started when I came down here as the fire chief, and I think it's an opportunity to be able to recognize a staff member that goes above and beyond from my and Chief Hoarding's perspective. All of you guys do an excellent job. All of you are capable of this award. But this person is very special. He shows up day in and day out. There's not a day I don't think he comes to the fire station. He's at the fire station all the time. He doesn't miss a call. And he's got, I think in 1 month, I think most months he averages over 60 calls a month. This guy is Spanish Fork Fire and EMS through and through. He trains, he's committed, he wants to make other people better. People want to follow after him. He is the epitome of what this award is, and it's the Pride and Progress Award. And myself and Chief Hoarding have selected Captain Cody Walmsley for the Pride and Progress Award.
Well, I'm terrible at speeches, but Chief said I could just say 2 things. So, no, but I just appreciate the opportunity to be part of the fire department. I love doing this. I love working with each and every one of you, and I'm grateful that we get to go and fight fire and help the city, and that's what I got to say.